Let me share our experience driving for the very first time from UK to Portugal. First of all, let's prepare the car. The best will be if you can take it to the garage for the full service so they can check, so you are sure that everything is fine and you are ready to go. If you can do that, it will be good if you can check your engine oil, coolant and the air conditioning if you need to refill or not. You need to have with you as well is 2 triangles, one for the front, one for the back, and you will need the high vis for every passenger in your car. In France you will need as well an alcohol sense, and that is basically if police gonna stop you to check if you drink alcohol or not. Of course they will have their own one, but you may need to pay way more, where on Amazon or Halford you can get it for like £5–6 only. Now let's talk about the journey itself. We found 3 ways that you can get from UK to mainland of Europe. There's a cruise ship, ferry and the Eurotunnel. The cruise ship goes from Portsmouth to Santander and Bilbao in Spain, and from there you have about 8 hours of driving to Portugal. So that is something good if you are not a big fan of driving, because that saves you the driving through the whole France, and they going twice a week only. The sailing is approximately 24 hours. The price of course gonna depend from the time of the year you're going. The second way is a ferry that's going from Dover to Calais in France, and they have about 15 crossings a day. The price can go as cheap as 68 euros. The crossing is 1.5 hours. You have a lot of options. Time to suit you needs the best. And the third one is Eurotunnel, and the crossing is about 35 minutes. The ticket you can get as cheap as £27. Of course that depends as well from the time and the date you're going. We travel in the summertime, in the holiday period, so our ticket one way was £135. In France you will need to pay attention to the speed limits because they are very strict on that. We use Google Maps as a GPS because when I was comparing different applications and stuff, Google Maps came the best. We use motorways, the paid one obviously. You can of course avoid it and you can go a freeway. It shows us 4 to 5 hours extra. So I think if you're gonna compare that, the time, the petrol, everything might just not be worth it, but that is totally up to you. On the motorways you have plenty of service area to stop, like a petrol station or just a little alleys in the forest, so there is plenty of ways for you to stop, have a rest. They have basic facilities as well, and on top some of them they even have some playground for the kids. If you're traveling during the night, I will highly recommend you stop on the petrol station as they have a CCTV camera, so you're gonna be more safe. In France we put petrol for 50 euro. The motorways cost us 103 euro. We paid by cash, or you can pay by card, but as well you can buy a device that you stick on the front window of your car, and then you log in on the website, you put in your credit or debit card, and it automatically charges your debit card each time you're crossing, and you won't need to wait in the queues, nothing like this. The problem with that is that you will need 2 devices, one for France, one for Spain and Portugal, and each of those devices cost about 40 to 50 pounds. For us there was just no worth it, because basically what we would spend for those devices, it was all what we kind of almost spent for the motorways, so it's totally up to you. In France, if you want to put petrol, you need to stop next to the distributor, then go to the cashier, tell them your number and tell them how much you want to put. So for example, we ask for 50 pounds, and then we need to come back to the distributor, and that's how much they let you can put the petrol on. That's a bit weird, but maybe for some safety reason then stuff that is good. In Spain most of the motorways are free. To be honest, we spent there only 20 euro, and that was at the very beginning as we entered the Spain, and we put 50 euro worth of diesel as well in Spain, and that took us all the way home. The only problem is that in Spain what we found is that you don't have as many petrol stations and places that you can stop and rest as for example in France. In Portugal we didn't put any petrol because it was enough, and we didn't spend any money for any motorways as we live around Braga. But if you're traveling further down, let's say maybe Lisbon or Algarve, you will need to pay for your motorways. The total journey time for us was about 30 hours, but it could be as well because we got delay on the Eurotunnel and then we got caught in the few traffics around the big cities in France. Plus we didn't force ourselves much, and in the car we went more to enjoy the journey than to get as quickly as we can to Portugal. We have a beautiful weather, so we just took it easy. We drove Renault Clio 1.4 diesel, and the total we spent was £137.50 for one-way ticket for Eurotunnel and the Dartford crossing one way. Then was €100 for the petrol, and of course petrol will depend from how big is your car, from the style of you driving, and if you're using air conditioning or not. I can clearly tell you that if you use air conditioning, you're gonna waste way more petrol than normally. In France we spent €103 for motorways and €50 for the petrol. In Spain we spent €50 for the petrol and we spent €20 for the motorways. We slept in the car, we didn't use any Airbnb. Food as well, if you're gonna stop and you're gonna eat in the restaurant, that is of course you need to include. We prepare our own sandwiches and stuff, so we didn't need to spend any money on food. We didn't force ourselves. We had an amazing, beautiful, hot weather, so we was going as well more to enjoy, not to force ourselves. And our car, we took quite few breaks to eat, to relax.